Yeah, there goes the gas. So I realized that I never really did an all-out brawl where you get the medal. So let's do that. Obviously, this doesn't need to be done in challenge mode, so let's just show you guys how to get through that one real quick. So we're going to need 2 standard vanguards, preferably the higher damage, the better. 2 good snipers. I've got Jessica and Vermeil. Now, if you don't have a decent level Jessica like I do, Cruz will be fine. You're really just killing off people, so it's not a massive thing. But 2 standard vanguards are your way to go. You won't probably need a second healer. I've got one just as a reserve, so Suzuro is my reserve. In actual fact, as far as healers go, you're probably better off using Mer, to be entirely honest, as a reserve, just because when she is deployed, she'll actually heal up operators. So if you're using her in an emergency, that's probably the way you want to go about it. Perfumer, you'll need her map-wide heal as well as an AoE healer. Shirayuki, Cutter, and Estelle. So I'm using skill 1 with Cutter, but it's really up to you guys which of the 2 you want. And Estelle, so an AoE guard. Now, there's not too many choices on what you can do because you need a 2 block. That's kind of where you're limited. And there's not a lot of decent damage 2 blocks before actually going up to like AoE guards. So you can probably use Frostleaf, but I mean that really comes down to what you guys want. I mean, it's deployment points versus damage, really. It's up to you guys what you feel comfortable using. Gitano, I prefer to use Gitano just because of her skill 2 variety. It kind of gives us a little bit of leeway on what before we can get Shirayuki in the game at least. Myrtle, just because we need the deployment points to get a lot of units on the field to start off with. And I do actually feel like it's worth bringing a ranged guard, but it's really up to you guys. I mean, if you want to borrow somebody's Silver Ash, for example, it might take you a long way, but outside of that, if you want to use Frostleaf, you can. I just feel like having the extra attack cells that these long-range targets give you. Alternatively, you can bring a defender. So I would probably suggest somebody like Quora. It's up to you guys. Whatever you feel that last slot best offers you is whatever you feel that last slot best offers you. Now, if this one helps you out, guys, I know like this one's super late to the party, but helps you out, leave a sub, because that helps me out as well. And let's do this. So we want to get Myrtle in first. It doesn't really matter which way you throw Myrtle. Your first Vanguard here, Scavenger. Doesn't matter if it's Scavenger or Courier. Just your first one in. So Myrtle's skill, second one in. And then we want to work on our snipers. Now I like to put Jessica facing down and Vermeil facing up, and that's because primarily you'll have your strongest stuff in this top lane. Next skill, and you want your healer in. Now your healer can be top or bottom, just make sure they're facing whatever edge they're closest to. Alright, so I'm going to put Cutter on top, because that's where my healer is. Because Estelle actually heals herself when she kills an enemy, so it's kind of like she doesn't really need a healer as desperately as Cutter may. So this will be Myrtle's last skill use, because we need to get somebody else on the field. What we're going to do is, because you can see leakage here, we're going to actually use Perfumer's skill, take her out, and don't worry about this guy, because he is, wouldn't you know it, heading to Vermeil. So we're going to use Vermeil's skill to get rid of that dude, and we're going to pop in Katana. Cut a skill. Get rid of that one guy. Why the hell not? So now the reason the top lane leaks, and not the bottom, Scavenger's attack is significantly higher than Courier's. So bear that in mind when you're placing your operators. Just be wary of who does damage and who doesn't do damage. So Vermal's skill cycles nicely, so you can use Vermal's skill pretty frequently. Gonna use Cutter's skill here, just to do a bit of damage to these guys. And now we're just sort of sitting through this. We don't actually need to do anything. I am saving at this point Scavenger's skill. So once the second one comes out, we're going to use the stealth skill. Because I want to get rid of these guys as quick as I can. Vermal skill as well, because I want to get rid of this elite. And once again, I'm going to use Cutter's skill just to get some damage on these guys in the back. So at about this point, you're pretty much on the home stretch. So we don't need Jessica anymore. We're going to pull her out and replace with Shiryuki. I'm waiting for this one to die, obviously, which it's not going to. Rip me. Alright. And now at this point, we have a whole bunch of nasties coming through. Life is not going to be good. I'll tell you that right now. So we're going to pop in a healer. Gitano's skill. Bang. Don't do that. Save that one. Take everybody else out. This skill. And he's activated again, so we'll stun him again. And there we go. So that's how you get your medal. I realized that I hadn't got my medal, so it should pop up. And all will be good. That's that, guys. Hope it helped.